In the ancient Sanskrit texts of India, a vision of reality was recorded thousands of years before any physicist could split the atom. A vision that consciousness is the foundation of all existence, that the multiplicity we perceive is an illusion, and that behind every individual self lies one infinite, undivided awareness. These were not primitive guesses. They were the insights of sages who turned their gaze inward with the same rigor that modern scientists turn outward, and arrived at truths that the Western world would not approach for millennia. Erwin Schrödinger, Nobel laureate, the father of quantum mechanics, the man whose wave equation described the behavior of every atom in the universe, and who found in ancient Upanishads the deepest expression of what his physics was revealing. In 1918, a young Schrödinger in Vienna encountered the writings of Arthur Schopenhauer, who had declared, "In the whole world, there is no study so beneficial and so elevating as that of the Upanishads." Through Schopenhauer, Schrödinger discovered the Upanishads and was transformed. He read the commentaries of Adi Shankara, the great teacher of Advaita Vedanta. He studied the doctrine of Brahman and Atman, of Maya and liberation, and he recognized something astonishing. The ancient sages had seen what his science was only beginning to glimpse. In 1925, Schrödinger wrote a personal account of his philosophy. Vedanta teaches that consciousness is singular, all happenings are played out in one universal consciousness, and there is no multiplicity of selves. 1 year later, he formulated the Schrödinger equation, the mathematical heart of quantum mechanics. It described reality not as solid particles, but as waves of probability, superimposed, inseparable, continuous. The old model of the universe as a machine made of separate parts was shattered. As his biographer Walter Moore wrote, the unity and continuity of Vedanta are reflected in the unity and continuity of wave mechanics. This is entirely consistent with the Vedantic concept of all in one. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, this unity reaches its most magnificent expression. The Bhagavatam describes Brahman, the one supreme consciousness, as the source, sustainer, and dissolution of all that exists. Countless universes arise and dissolve within this single awareness, like waves rising and falling on an infinite ocean. The Chandogya Upanishad proclaims, all this is Brahman. Everything comes from Brahman. Everything goes back to Brahman. And everything is sustained by Brahman. Schrödinger understood. He wrote, the multiplicity is only apparent. This is the doctrine of the Upanishads. He offered an analogy. Reality is like a many-faceted crystal, showing hundreds of little pictures of what is in reality a single existent object, yet it does not really multiply the object. This was not a passing reference. Schrödinger had wholly internalized the message of Vedanta. He named his dog Atman, the Sanskrit word for the innermost self. His conference talks would end with the declaration Atman equals Brahman, which he called with a wry smile his second equation. In What is Life? Schrödinger posed a profound question. If the world is created by our active observation, there should be billions of worlds, one for each of us. How come your world and my world are the same? He found his answer in the Upanishads. There's obviously only one alternative, the unification of minds or consciousnesses. Their multiplicity is only apparent. In truth, there is only one mind. The Srimad Bhagavatam teaches the same. The individual Atman is never separate from Brahman, just as a wave is never separate from the ocean. What we call the material world, the Vedas call Maya, is an appearance within the one consciousness, like images in a gallery of mirrors. What do not belong to this material world that science constructs for us, Schrödinger wrote, we are not in it, we are outside, we are only spectators. And in my view of the world, completed before his death, he returned to the truth he had carried since 1918. In all the world, there is no kind of framework within which we can find consciousness in the plural. The only solution lies in the ancient wisdom of the Upanishad. Erwin Schrödinger did not turn to the Vedas to escape physics. He turned to them because his physics demanded it. The wave equation revealed a universe of unity, and the Upanishads had been proclaiming that unity for thousands of years. The timeless wisdom of the Srimad Bhagavatam reminds us still, consciousness is not many, it is one. The multiplicity we see is only an appearance, like a crystal catching the light from 100 angles, yet remaining always one.